Shalom, everybody. Rabbi Edelstein here with this week's installment of Rabbi E in 3, brought to you as always by MEOR DC. On behalf of MEOR DC, I invite you to check out our programs in the new semester starting next week at GW University. We have the Maimonides Fellowship, a 10-week program exploring Jewish ideas, meets on Tuesday nights in the Marvin Center. Apply at www.meor.org, and it's open to AU and Georgetown students as well. And we have monthly Shabbat dinners, monthly Sunday brunches, round-the-clock coffee meeting possibilities with me, Rabbi E, and my wife, Mrs. E. So check it all out in the semester to come. Now that took up 40 seconds of my 3 minutes roughly, but had to do it as we begin the new semester together. But now here's an idea, powerful one that can elevate us every single day of our lives. I'm drawing this idea partly from the beautiful work Nesivos Shalom, very famous book written by a previous Rebbe of the Slonim Hasidic group, Rav Shalom Noach Berezovsky. Beautiful, beautiful, inspiring book. I quote it a lot. Many people are inspired by it every day. He's talking about the Torah portion, which is Bo. We're in the third Torah portion of the book of Exodus, Shemos. And indeed, this week's Torah portion, the Jewish people actually leave Mitzrayim. They go out of Egypt, Yetzias Mitzrayim. In 2 weeks' time, the Torah portion is Yisro. We'll be standing at Mount Sinai getting the Torah from God, which was the purpose of leaving Egypt in the first place. We were taken out of Egypt to get the Torah at Mount Sinai. So these whole portions at the beginning of the book of Exodus are dealing with the concept going out of Egypt, Yetzias Mitzrayim. You know, in this week's Torah portion, the verse says, God tells Moshe to tell the Jewish people, Zachor es hayom hazeh asher yitzasam mitzrayim. Remember this day you left Egypt. And the word remember is in the form, it's Zachor, it's not a one-time commandment. It's in the ongoing present form, meaning there's a daily obligation to remember the exodus from Egypt. And those who pray the Shacharis prayer, the morning prayer, we fulfill that in the Shema. We remember going out of Egypt every single day of our lives. And there's a similar idea later on about remembering standing at Mount Sinai and getting the Torah, that it's an ongoing obligation. Many people recite a verse, I try to every day after davening, after prayer, remembering that we were stood at Mount Sinai. So every single day, to remember going out of Egypt, to remember we stood at Mount Sinai. That's important on a national level, if you will, meaning every one of us part of an eternal nation, part of a chain, the links of which go in an unbroken way all the way back to Egypt, a nation that God took out from slavery with awesome power, a nation that stood at Mount Sinai to receive his law, to be a light to the nations with the help of that law. So that's important on a that way of looking at it. But the Nesivos Shalom, this great rabbi I want to quote, he says also on a personal level, every single day we're supposed to remind ourselves and enact those two aspects. What? Every one of us has a personal Egypt, a personal battle with our own egotism, sensuality, which can get out of control. Every day we have to try to have the strength to go out of Egypt, to do something, he says, at least one thing that goes against the egotism and selfishness within us. That's going out of Egypt. And every day, he says, symbolically, we have to stand at Mount Sinai and do one positive action to bring out goodness in the world. Of course, the truth is, we have so many mitzvot every day, and receiving the Torah means trying to connect to, learn about, and do all those mitzvot. But the Nesivos Shalom says at least one act of leaving Egypt every day, at least one act of positively bringing out the light of Torah with good deeds into the world. The personal going out of Egypt, the personal standing at Mount Sinai, have a beautiful personal Shabbos. See you next week.